bump and grind over breakfast. So here she is with the breakfast bump and grind, the garter girl herself, Miss Bambi Jones.
My name is Bambi Jones, and I was born in 1931, the same year that Gypsy hit Broadway. Minsky put her in the Republic Theater. She was a smash, sensation. Tigger mentioned Dixie. The shoes, her shoes are here. These are Gypsy's shoes. My friend Dixie is in Seattle now, celebrating Gypsy's birthday in Gypsy's hometown, Seattle. So to Dixie up there, I love you. And here we're the Sisterhood of the Traveling G-Strings. Gypsy was married 3 times. I had 3 husbands. Eeny, meeny, miny, I don't want no mo. I did want to do a little shtick for you, but I guess oh, okay. But what I will do is show you the little breakfast bump and grind that I taught Joe Boobs Weldon when we were at Exotic World in 2005 at a reunion. No, it wasn't a reunion. It was a big burlesque contest. And we have a young lady here who was in that contest, and she is now an OBGYN. And I was so surprised to see, and there she is. Could you stand up and take a bow? What is the name again?
Leroy the Girl Boy.
Leroy the Girl Boy. And Tigger, you little devil, you. I hate it when somebody wears more makeup than me. And just, I don't know if you know that Barbara Streisand is talking about doing Gypsy. That's hot off the press. Let's see, what else? At my age, I gotta watch out. Let's see here, I gotta make little notes. As you see, the garter. Okay, I'm wearing the garter. Many years ago, I worked with Here. I work with so many people. Carrie Fennell, the lady that invented the pasties. And I was giving a garter at the time, and Carrie said, why don't you call yourself Star and Garter? And Star with the garter. So I've been giving a garter, and unbeknownst to me, Carrie, I learned through the history books, was very close to Mike Todd and Gypsy Rose Lee. And Gypsy Rose Lee did that show, Star and Garter, and the young lady here just did the star routine. So everything kind of ties in. Everything kind of ties in. What Gypsy did was miraculous. She took sex, okay, she took comedy, and she put it together with disrobing, and she became the #1 enthusiast on the planet. And because of her, we're here, we're celebrating her birthday. I'd like to say to her, and I don't have a drink right now, that I drink to her health when I think about her. I drink to her health when I'm alone. I drink to her health so often that I'm damn near ruining my own. So I can shuffle off the buffalo, I think. I'm sorry. Okay. I told Joe Boobs, the breakfast strip bump. On the right, you visualize an apple. On the left, there's an orange. And in the middle, there's a coffee bean. So here we go. You ready? Here we go. Okay. This is breakfast for 1. Okay, here we go. Hit the apple, hit the orange, and grind the coffee. You gotta... It's the other direction. We gotta hit the apple, hit the orange, and grind the coffee.
Rose and Gypsy. I'm Rose.
I'm Gypsy.
Dear Gypsy, it is difficult for me to believe that you could be so heartless and cruel to anyone, and above all, your own mother. 2 daughters living in mansions. 2 girls I have given the best of my life to. Now when I am really in need, they won't help me. God pity you. I wonder if you really are a communist. Love, Mother.
Dear Mother, you own 3 houses, at least 5 acres of land, a good car, and a paid-up annuity, which gives you an income of over $100 a month that I know of, plus whatever else you have. I understand you collect rent from the houses you own. As far as our relationship is concerned, I would call it one of extreme decency and generosity on my part, as you have from time to time called to my attention directly and in writing. Signed, Gypsy.
Dear Gypsy, I am so sorry for anything I have done to make you feel like you do about me. Just give me one more chance. I am sure you will be glad if you do. Love, Mother.
Dear Mother, I heard that you were feeling better. I'm so glad, honey. Keep it up. Don't be chasing around the hospital in your bare feet, and stop flirting with the interns. It isn't good for their blood pressure. If interns have any blood, a nurse once told me they didn't. Instead, they have salt water. Of course, you can't believe everything nurses say. Darling, I'm gonna go have my coffee now. Those bum jokes in the last paragraph are too much like the first act curtain. Too talky. Love and loads of it, Gypsy.
Dear Gypsy, you made money your god and goal, and that is all you ever cared about. I was your slave and colored maid for years. Now the time has come to let the outside world know just what kind of daughter I brought into this world. Things you made me go through and endure in regards to all your stepping stones, to your getting where you were interested in getting, at any cost, must now be told to your faithful public that do not know you at all. And after all was over, and you got what you wanted, you flung me away and did not want to bother with me. I had had my youth. I pity you. Signed, your mother.
Dear Mother, a registered letter addressed to me, supposedly from you, arrived in New York and was forwarded to me here in Toronto. My engagement here with 5 shows a day is an extremely nerve-wracking and difficult one, and the letter will not make it any easier. This is even though I seriously doubt that you signed, dictated, or sent the letter. I cannot believe that you would. It is inconceivable that you would even think of sending such a letter. Yet I must reply as if it were valid, because it resembles so many other cruel letters and threats you have made to me time and again over the years gone by. This letter, as the others, is in the nature of blackmail, and I am sick and tired of such threats. Whatever help I might have wished to give is utterly wiped out by your threats. If you did not sign or send the letter, disregard all of this. Please understand how I feel. If you did not write or send the letter, I will someday show it to you. Yours, Gypsy.
Dear Gypsy, I have just been a very foolish, I guess, unreasonable mama. I love you so much. And I am very, very grateful for all you have done for me and am still doing for me. I have been getting worse and worse with the asthma. In fact, so bad I'm now having very bad attacks. Now enclosed is the name and address of the doctor and the place where I want to go. Can you and will you help me? I need $100 for the entire cure at the clinic and just enough extra for gas and my needs. Please help me, Louise, and then I will be able to do for myself again. I want to open a baby nursery here as soon as I am able. God bless you, dear. Love, Mother.
No response.
Dear Gypsy, I'm going to give you back to God for him to manage you and I. He will untangle this whole unhappy affair, I know. In the meantime, I'm going to know that you will and must love me. Because, Louise, dear, without me, you are lost. I will always be waiting for you to come to me. Lots of love, Mother.
A telegram from Gypsy to Rose. I have no desire to repeat last year's scenes which are too fresh in my memory. Stop. Your so-called loneliness is of your own choice. Stop. If you want to go to Seattle, go direct. Stop. We just don't see eye to eye, and that is final. Gypsy.
What a name that guy has.
Yeah, what a pea shooter.
Wally out there too. Bless his heart. Sitting there through all 4 shows. This lunchbox on his lap. His room number printed on his forehead. And there was a man in the front row looking at me with binoculars. I didn't know if he was one of my burlesque customers or a bird watcher. It made me so nervous. I didn't know whether to strip or lay an egg.
Coming to the stage next, a legend of television and radio, a man who is rumored to have interviewed over 10,000 guests in his time on radio and TV, ranging from Bing Crosby to Yoko Ono. In 2008, he was awarded a Lifetime Achievement Award by the Theater Museum. Please join me in welcoming to the stage, Joe Franklin.
I go back to the days when the Dead Sea was only sick. My first guest ever was Moses, and Moses had a headache. I told him to take 2 tablets. No, I don't do comedy. I just want to say that I guess my participation here tonight is built around the fact that Gypsy Rose Lee, who was a dear friend of mine, was inspired as a guest on my TV talk show to want and desire and finally get her own syndicated TV talk show, which I got for her. I introduced her to the syndicator. And she's, I was just told, she was a thinking man's stripper. She brought intellect to the art of stripping. And I was told what a verbal dynamo she was. So when she came on my show for the first time, I says, Gypsy, just talk. Whatever you want to say. Tell us a joke. You want to hear a joke? She says, this is one of my favorites, by the way, from way back. It seems that she knew a man who owned TWA. And the man from TWA, he said to the crew, this lady going on the plane right now, very important client of mine, keep her happy. She's a very active subsidizer of all my activities. She gets on the plane with her pet dog. They put the dog in steerage. They fly to Israel. And when they get to Israel, they bring out the dog. Guess what? The dog is dead. You say, oh my God. They run into the cockpit. They say, Captain, terrible. There's Mr. Goldberg's dog. Dead. He said, oh, we're all going to get fired. He said, wait, I got an idea. He said, about 10 minutes into Jerusalem or in Tel Aviv, is the veterinarian. Maybe you could match the dog. And we'll keep her happy with happy talk. So they said, we'll try it. They take the dog out of the cage, take the dog down to the veterinarian, and guess what? They are able to match the dog. It's amazing. So they come back fast, take out the dead dog, put in a live dog, bring it out to Mr. Goldberg. She says, this is not my dog. She said, of course they do. She said, no, this is not my dog. She said, Mr. Goldberg, this is your cheese. No, it's not my dog. I'm bringing my dog to Israel to bury it. My dog is dead. When I heard that, I said, this lady's got to have her own TV talk show. I asked her, what's one of her latest crusades? She says, my newest crusade. She was famous for her campaigns, Gypsy Rose Lee was. She says, my latest crusade. She says, you know the way they put missing children's pictures on milk cartons? I want to put missing transvestites pictures on half and half. No, she was great. She was great. She used to do riddles. She would ask, what do they call an abortion in Czechoslovakia? A cancel check? She would say, what do they call it? A gay milkman? A dairy queen? She was phenomenally verbal, and she was great. She was my favorite. One of my all-time here on the show at least 5 times. I've written many books. I want to give a good plug for the Karen Abbott's book, American Rose, and now it's third printing. That's because the first two printings were blurred. I'm kidding. I don't do jokes. I just want to say what an honor it was to be invited here tonight. I'm enjoying the show, and may the memory of Gypsy Rose Lee go on and live for many, many years to come, and God bless you.
Take your hands off me and stop touring the world.
But baby, I want to marry you.
I can't marry you, Charlie.
Why not?
I told you before, I can't marry you because it's Lent.
Well, can't you get it back for a few days?
Fresh.
If it's fresh, I'll take it.
It's me again. It is my pleasure to introduce to you now my dear friend, the burlesque mayor of New York City, the co-winner of the first ever Most Innovative Award at the Burlesque Hall of Fame in Las Vegas, which I believe has gone to New York City every single year. He also, when he wrote and put out his pulp novel, The Corpse War Pasties, became, yes, you may cheer. He became the first burlesque performer to write and publish a burlesque murder mystery since Gypsy herself. The connections, they just keep on bumping and bumping. Ladies and gentlemen, Johnny Pork Pie.
I should ask you for hail to the chief, Albert. Yes, they call me the burlesque mayor of New York City. At least they do when I ask them nicely. When I'm hosting shows, I do a whole shtick about LaGuardia, who Paul mentioned earlier. Gypsy had choice words for LaGuardia. LaGuardia had choice words for burlesque. He called it entertainment for morons and perverts. And so, dear morons, gentle perverts, an excerpt from Gypsy Rose Lee's murder mystery, The G-String Murders. The first of two murder mysteries set in the world by burlesque, written by burlesque performers. We're in sales. Chapter 1. Finding dead bodies scattered all over a burlesque theater isn't the sort of thing you're likely to forget. Not quickly, anyway. It's the little things, incidents that don't seem important when they happen, that slip your mind. With me, for instance, as long as I live, I remember seeing that bloated, bluish face, the twisted, naked body, the swollen, and the glitter of a G-string hanging like an earring from the swollen neck. Sometimes, even now, I wake up in a cold sweat with the sound of a body squashing on the stage and Dolly Baxter's screams in my ears. The things that are harder to remember are the incidents leading up to the murders. The raid is a good example. How was I to know that it wasn't just another pinch? Then, Dolly Baxter and Lolita Laverne, they were always fighting anyway. So how could I guess that their ordinary hair-pulling, name-calling differences of opinion were leading to death? I'll admit I should have known something was up when the Princess Nirvana opened at the Old Opera. She must have seen the signs backstage. They were all over the place. Full net pants, no bumps, no grounds. Keep your navel covered. You couldn't miss seeing them. But when she did her specialty and took off her last pair of pants, I was definitely going to hand in my notice. I didn't, of course, but, well, maybe I'd better start from the beginning. Not when I first went into show business, but from the time I received the telegram in Columbus, Ohio. Gypsy Rose Lee, it read. Gaiety Theater, Columbus, Ohio. You open February 12th, Old Opera Theater, New York City. Salary, $125 net. Theater reel showcase for Broadway debut, wire confirmation, rush photos, H.I. Moss. The wire was typical of him. H.I. Moss, owner of 6 burlesque theaters and undisputed impresario of burlesque, wouldn't wire, can you open? And although I'd been working for him for 2 years, he wouldn't sign it best regards, nor would he write Herbert or Isidore Moss. Burlesque is the poor man's follies, was one of his expressions, but I'm sure he didn't feel that way about it. He was convinced that an H.I. Moss production meant not only clean entertainment for the whole family, but also stood for the very best Broadway could offer. If he thought Eugene O'Neill could write a good burlesque blackout, then O'Neill was the man for him. If he couldn't write anything but dynamo and strange interlude, Moss would shrug his shoulders and say, "Who wants to know from such corn? Girls, that's what the public wants." He might have been right at that. Of all his theaters, the Old Opera was the favorite. It had survived a good many impressions, and the policy was, girls, girls, girls. In smaller print, They advertised laughs, laughs, laughs. Next in prominence, boxing Thursdays. Moss emphasized the clean entertainment part too. The night I met him, he impressed it on my mind. That was the night he changed my name from Rose Louise to Gypsy Rose Lee. That Louise is too refined for a stripteaser, he said. Refinement